Okay, so we have seen principle of superposition of waves, and in that we have also seen the interference pattern, constructive interference and the destructive interference. Okay, now let us give some mathematical treatment to this superposition of the waves. Okay, so we shall now discuss resultant of two simple harmonic motions in the same direction. Okay, so what will happen, suppose that if there is a particle in the space, okay, at this particular position, suppose there is a particle in space and two simple harmonic motions are moving in the same direction and it is reaching at this particular point in space. Okay, then what will be the resultant displacement of that particular particle? So that we have to see under this particular heading. Okay, and these two simple harmonic waves, they will be of same frequency, okay, but different in phase of one wave will be different than the phase of other wave. Okay, so let us consider one of the wave is represented by y1. So y1 is equal to a sine omega t. So this is representation of simple harmonic wave, where omega is the angular frequency of the simple harmonic wave, a is the amplitude, t is the time, and y1 is the displacement along y direction, or displacement of that particular particle, not necessarily along y direction, because we are normally discussing with the longitudinal wave. Okay, and another wave, its displacement is denoted by y2 and it is equal to b sine of omega t plus phi. So phi is the phase difference between these two and b is the amplitude of the another wave. Okay, so according to the superposition principle, the resultant displacement will be given by, suppose it is denoted by y, then y will be equal to y1 plus y2. I have already told you that the resultant displacement at particular particle or at particular point will be the vector sum of individual displacements produced by each wave. So the displacement produced by wave 1 is y1, displacement produced by wave 2 is y2. So we have to add them vectorially and then we will get the resultant displacement. So y1, let us put the value of y1 over here, let us put the value of y2 over here. Okay, and this is nothing but a sine omega t plus b sine omega t plus phi. So sine of a plus b, let us apply the formula of sine of a plus b. So b is commonly multiplied. So sine of a into cos of b. So sine of omega t into cos of phi, and cos of omega t into sine of phi. Okay, so the expansion of sine omega t plus phi is given like this. Okay, so let us rearrange the things. Here you see a sine omega t, and here it is b sine omega t plus phi. So sine omega t can be taken as common, and in the bracket we will be left with a plus b into cos phi. So a plus b cos phi into sine omega t plus remaining factor b sine phi into cos omega t. Okay, now let us resubstitute something. For a plus b into cos phi, let us put a into cos theta. Okay, you see a is amplitude of one wave, b is amplitude of another wave, and phi is the phase difference between these two waves. So a plus b cos phi will be some kind of constant. So instead of this particular constant, we can put the another constant, that is a cos theta. So there will not be much change in the equation, right? So a plus b cos phi will be replaced by a into cos theta, and this b into sin phi will be replaced by a sin theta. So if you do this mathematics, then this y becomes, instead of a plus b cos phi, we have to write a cos theta, remaining is sin omega t, plus instead of b sin phi we have to put a sin theta and into cos omega t. So you see, if you look at this particular formula, a cos theta into cos omega sin omega t plus a sin theta into cos omega t. So a will be common, cos theta sin omega t sin theta cos omega t. This is nothing but the expansion of sin of omega t plus theta. So if you expand sin omega t plus theta, you will get this particular bracket. Okay, so y will be equal to a sin omega t plus theta. So you see, earlier also we have considered the equation like this: y2 equal to b sin omega t plus phi, y1 is equal to a sin omega t plus omega t plus phi, means here plus phi is not there, so plus 0 we can say. So these are nothing but the equations of simple harmonic motion. So we introduce simple harmonic waves in a medium, and we are looking at what will be the resultant displacement at one particular point where these two waves arrive simultaneously. Okay, so the resultant displacement is now denoted by y, and y is equal to a sine omega t plus theta. So from this equation, what we can say is that the resultant displacement is also a simple harmonic wave. The resultant displacement is also simple harmonic motion with an amplitude a, capital A, and phase difference of theta. You see, the earlier phase difference was phi. Now the new phase difference is theta. The earlier amplitudes were small a and small b, but the new amplitude is given by capital A. Now you see, the resultant wave will also travel with the same angular frequency omega. So the frequency will not change, but the amplitude will change and the phase difference will now change. So how to obtain the values for a phase difference and amplitude? So for that, if you look at these two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2, okay, so if you divide this sin theta divided by cos theta, so let us divide equation 2 by 1. So a sin theta divided by a cos theta, that will be equal to tan theta, and b sin phi divided by a plus b cos phi. So from this equation we get the value for theta as tan inverse of b sin phi upon a plus b cos phi. So what will be the new phase difference? That information can easily be obtained with the help of this particular formula. So if you know the values of a and b, small a and small b, and phi, you can easily get the value for new phase difference. Okay. Now how to obtain the value for amplitude, new amplitude? So squaring and adding equation 1 and 2. So you see, this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2. Okay, so if you square and add, you just square equation number 1, so a plus b cos phi whole square equation number 2, that is b sin phi whole square. So what you will get? You will get this thing, a square cos square theta plus a square sin square theta is equal to this thing, a plus b cos phi whole square plus b square sin square phi. Okay, now let us expand this a plus b cos phi whole square. So a square plus twice ab plus b square. So a square plus twice ab cos phi plus b square cos square phi, and remaining this one, b square sin square phi. So again a square plus, you see now, twice ab cos phi. Here you see b square cos square phi, b square sin square phi. So b square will be common, cos square phi plus sin square phi, and cos square phi plus sin square phi will be equal to 1. So only thing will be remaining, that is b square. So finally we will get a square plus twice ab into cos phi plus b square. So the value of a will be under root of a square plus twice ab cos phi plus b square. So from this equation we can find the value of a. Now there are two cases. You can see in this particular formula that the value of a depends on the amplitude small a. It also depends on the amplitude small b, but it also depends on the initial phase difference phi between the two waves. Now the initial phase difference can be measured in the terms of angle, okay, in terms of angle of 0, 2 pi, etc, whatever, that angle will be in the radians, right? So we will get different cases. So for constructive interference, actually we know that there are two types of interference. One is constructive interference, another is the destructive interference. In case of constructive interference, the amplitude is maximum and therefore the intensity is also maximum. In case of destructive interference, the amplitude is 0 and therefore the intensity will also be 0. Destructive interference will appear as a dark and constructive interference will appear as a bright. Now you see, the intensity is directly proportional to the amplitude. Therefore this formula will tell us that when we will get the constructive interference and when we will get the destructive interference. So if you look at this particular formula, it is under root of a square plus twice ab into cos phi plus b square. So when this value will be maximum, a will be constant, b will be constant. So the maximum value of this capital A will depends on this phi. So when phi is equal to 0, for example, okay, suppose phi is equal to 0, so cos phi will be equal to 1. If cos phi is equal to 1, then under root of a square plus twice ab plus b square, this is nothing but a plus b whole square, and a will be a plus b whole square, and that's under root. So under root and whole square will get cancelled, and the remaining value will be small a plus b. Okay, a plus b. So that will be the maximum value possible for the amplitude A, capital A. Okay, now you can think of when phi is equal to twice pi, then also capital A will be equal to a plus b. Phi is equal to 4 pi, then also capital A will be equal to a plus b. So if phi is equal to n into twice pi, where n may be equal to, n will be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. etc. Okay, so n will be equal to integer. So if phi will be equal to n into twice pi, then capital A will always be equal to a plus b. Okay, that is, the resultant vibration is in phase with the component vibration, because phi is equal to 0 means what? The phase difference between the two waves will be 0, and we have already seen that when the phase difference between the two waves is 0, we will get the constructive interference. Okay, the phase difference of 2 pi is also equivalent of phase difference of 0 only. Okay, the phase difference of 4 pi will also be equivalent to the phase difference of 0. Okay, these waves are called as a coherent waves. So whenever the coherent waves will superimpose, they will give us the constructive interference. Now if small a is equal to small b, if a is equal to b, then what will happen? Capital A will be equal to a plus b, that will be a plus a, that will be equal to twice a, and therefore the intensity is equal to the square of the amplitude, and if you take the square of twice a, then you will get 4a square. Therefore I told you earlier that the amplitude may become twice of the individual wave, but the intensity becomes 4 times that of the individual intensity, because the individual intensity is denoted by I only. So its intensity will become 4 times here. Therefore such a pattern will be called as a constructive interference. Similarly, when we will get the destructive interference? When capital A will be equal to 0 or minimum. Now when it will be equal to 0, we should get A minus B. So when we will get A minus B? When phi is equal to pi. Here I have written 0, but 0 is not correct. When phi is equal to pi, so value of cos phi will be equal to minus 1. So minus 1 means what? A square minus twice ab plus b square. So the resultant value will be a minus b. Okay. So when phi is equal to pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi, etc. etc. So what we can write? We can write it as a twice n plus 1 pi. Twice n plus 1 pi, where n is an integer again. It may be equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So if n is equal to 0, we will get pi. When n equal to 1, we will get 3 pi. N equal to 2, we will get 5 pi, and so on. So whenever phi is having such a value, then we will be getting a will be equal to a minus b, and if a is equal to b, then capital A will be equal to 0, and if a is equal to 0, automatically this intensity will become 0, and if the intensity is 0, what what we are going to get? We are going to get the destructive interference. Okay, so this will happen, means whenever the two simple harmonic waves are there and they are moving in the same direction, and if they arrive at a point simultaneously, then the resultant displacement of that particular point or at that particular point will be the individual displacements produced by an individual waves. Okay, so sometimes we may get the interference pattern, sometimes we may get the destructive pattern. Now this is the normal scenario, but what will happen if we have the two simple harmonic wave? One is moving along x direction and another is moving along y direction. Suppose we are having two simple harmonic wave. So if you can see on the screen, so suppose one wave is traveling along this x direction and another wave is traveling along, suppose, y direction, and if they arrive at a point simultaneously, there is a point in a medium. Okay, so at this particular point, if these two waves arrive simultaneously at that particular point, then what will happen? Means here what is the case? We are having two simple harmonic waves motions and they are traveling at a right angle to each other. They are not traveling parallel to each other. they are traveling at a right angle to each other, and when such a waves arrive at a point simultaneously, then what will be the resultant displacement at that point, at that particle, of that particle? So actually, Lissajous is a scientist. Okay, Lissajous was a scientist who observed this particular phenomena. He studied this phenomena extensively. What he studied? He studied that what should be the resultant displacement when two simple harmonic waves which are moving in a perpendicular direction to each other arrive at a point simultaneously. Then he found that the resultant displacement of that particle is not the interference pattern. The resultant displacement at that particle will not give you an interference pattern. Means you will not get constructive interference, you will not get destructive interference. Because for the case of constructive and destructive interference, both the waves should travel in the same direction. They should arrive at a point simultaneously, and then depending on the value of the phase difference between the two waves, we may get constructive interference, we may get the destructive interference. But now this is the different case. We are having two simple harmonic waves, they are moving perpendicular direction. So what should be the resultant path traced by that particular particle? So Lissajous has found that when there is such a case, the resultant pattern traced by such a particle will be a curve. Will be a curve. Sometimes we may get the straight line, sometimes we may get the ellipse, sometimes we may get hyperbola. Okay, not hyperbola. Sometimes we may get different types of ellipse, sometimes we may get the circle, again sometimes we may get the straight line but lying in some different quadrant. Okay, so different figures we may get, different curves we may get. Such a curves or such a figures which are obtained by the superposition of two simple harmonic waves traveling in a perpendicular direction, such a figures are called as Lissajous figures. Such a figures are called as a Lissajous figures. So there is a Lissajous figure, okay, and the nature of these figures, what type of figure we will be getting, so that depends on amplitude of the vibrations. Okay, so whatever simple harmonic waves we are having, what is the amplitude of that particular wave? So that amplitude will decide which type of pattern we will be getting. And again, the frequency of the two vibrations. Okay, whatever two simple harmonic waves we are having, what is the frequency of those waves? So the frequency difference will also define what type of curve we will be getting, or what type of figures we will be getting. So such a different figures are called as a, here frequency and phases. So it depends on the phases also. What are the initial phases of these simple harmonic waves? So it mostly, normally what we will do, we will take amplitudes A and B, small a and small b. They will be quite different from each other. Sometimes they may be same also. Okay, we will think that the frequency of these two waves are same, but what we will do, we will allow to change the phase difference between these two waves. Okay, and depending on the different phase difference, what are the Lissajous figures we will get, that we will have to see, or we will see in this particular topic. Okay, so this is very interesting topic, that Lissajous figures, because it has got very different types of applications also. So let us now discuss superposition of two rectangular vibrations. Okay, why rectangular vibrations? Rectangular vibrations means what? One is moving along x direction, another is moving along y direction. Therefore, this particular word is used, rectangular vibrations. You can also say that superposition of two perpendicular vibrations of different amplitudes but same frequency. So we will be assuming that the frequencies of two vibrations are same. Okay, so again, as I have already told you, that consider one of the wave is moving along x direction, and that wave is represented by x is equal to a sin omega t plus phi. So phi is the initial phase difference, and another wave which is moving along y direction, its displacement is denoted by y is equal to b sin omega t. Okay, now this is equation number 1, this is equation number 2, and a and small b, these are the amplitudes as already discussed, and phi is the phase difference between these two waves. So from equation 2, since they are not moving in the same direction, okay, we have to solve this particular equation in a different kind of way. So from equation 2, what we can write? We can write here sin omega t is equal to y upon b. Let us shift this b into the denominator. So sin omega t is equal to y upon b, and therefore cos omega t equal to, what will be value of cos omega t? Cos omega t is nothing but under root of 1 minus sin square omega t. So instead of sin square omega t, let us write y upon b. So sin square omega t will be equal to y square by b square. So under root of 1 minus y square upon b square. Now you see, equation 1 now will become, this is equation number 1. Now you see x is equal to a sin of omega t plus phi. So sin of a plus b, sin a into cos b plus cos a into sin b. So let us apply this particular identity into this equation. So x equal to a sin omega t into cos phi plus a cos omega t into sin phi. So a is common over here. Let us take this a into the denominator and again into the left hand side. So x by a, we will be getting sin omega t into cos phi plus cos omega t into sin phi. Now sin omega t, we have already taken the value y by b, okay, into cos phi. So sin omega t means y upon b, and instead of cos phi, just write cos phi plus. Now instead of cos omega t, let us write under root of 1 minus y square by b square into sin phi. Okay. Now let us shift this y upon b into cos phi into the left hand side. So x upon a minus y upon b into cos phi, it is equal to this particular entity. Now let us square, because I don't want this under root sign. So let us square both the sides. So square of this particular bracket. So x upon a minus y by b into cos phi whole square is equal to under root of 1 minus y square by b square. So let us square it. So under root will be cancelled out. 1 minus y square by b square and sin phi. So sin square phi. Okay. Now let us again square this particular bracket. You see, a minus b whole square. This bracket is like a minus b whole square. So a square minus twice ab plus b square. So a means what? It is x by a. So x by a whole square minus twice xy divided by ab into cos phi plus y square by b square into cos square phi. So you can easily understand these calculations. Okay. And here also let us multiply this sin square phi to both the sides. So sin square phi minus y square b square, y square by b square into sin square phi. Okay. Now what we can do? This x square by a square. You see, if you look at this particular equation, if this y square upon b square into sin square phi, if this is taken into the left hand side, then what will happen? This minus sign will become plus. Okay. And this y square by b square will be taken common. Y square by b square will be taken common, and in the bracket we will be having sin square phi plus cos square phi. Okay. And on the right hand side you will be having only sin square phi. Okay. So sin square phi plus cos square phi is nothing but 1. So finally you are getting this particular equation. X square by a square minus twice xy divided by ab into cos phi plus y square by b square, and it is equal to sin square phi. Now this particular equation is equation number 3. This particular equation is obtained by solving these two equations. We had earlier equation for x and y. We solved it simultaneously and we arrive at this particular equation. Now this is nothing but the resultant displacement of the particle. When these two waves arrive at a point simultaneously, then the resultant displacement of that particular particle will be given by this particular equation. Now we have to see what this equation is telling us. What is the nature of this equation? So if you can understand, if you can remember, if you have studied the different equations of circles, ellipse, hyperbola, etc., then you will understand that this is the equation of general ellipse or oblique ellipse. Okay. This is the equation of oblique ellipse. Oblique means what? It is inclined to some angle with the x and y axis. So you see, I have already drawn the structure of this particular equation. So you will be getting the equation of oblique ellipse. So this particular equation tells us that the resultant path traced by that particular particle is an oblique ellipse. Okay, and oblique ellipse is nothing but one type of curve, no? It is the example of one type of curve, one type of figure. So we will be getting the Lissajous figure. Now you see, there is no interference pattern, there is no constructive interference, there is no destructive interference. Now depending on the phase, you can easily look at this particular equation that the resultant path traced by that particular particle depends on the phase phi. It also depends on the A and B. Okay, so it depends on the initial amplitudes and it also depends on the initial phase. Now it has been proved that when we have the two simple harmonic waves, they are moving at a right angle to each other, and when they arrive at a point simultaneously, the resultant path traced out by that particular particle will be a curve, and in this case it is an oblique ellipse. Okay, now we will see that depending on the different values of phases, what will be the nature of the figure we will be getting. So you remember this equation, earlier equation number 3. Now when phi is equal to 0, obviously the two waves are in phase with each other, right? Now when phi is equal to 0, sin phi will be equal to 0 and cos phi will be equal to 1, because sin 0 is equal to 0, cos 0 is equal to 1. So if you put these values in equation number 3, then this particular equation, okay, then we will be getting this x square by a square minus twice xy divided by ab cos phi plus y square by b square is equal to 0, and cos phi is equal to again 1. Okay, sin phi is equal to 0, so right hand side will become 0, and here also cos phi is equal to 1, so I have not put this value over here. Okay, so if it is 1, then x by a whole square minus twice xy divided by ab plus y by b whole square. So if you rewrite this, then we will get x minus a minus x by a minus y by b whole square, and that is equal to 0. Now if whole square is equal to 0, it means that plus minus of this quantity will be equal to 0. Why I have written plus minus quantity? Because this is the quadratic equation. If this is a quadratic equation, it will have two solutions. One is plus, another is minus. So in order to find that, we have written here plus minus. Okay, so if you solve this, you see, let us multiply this plus and minus sign to everything. So plus minus x by a, and here it is minus sign, so it will be minus plus y by b. Okay, so minus plus y by b and plus minus x by a. So let us rearrange the things. What we will get? Plus minus y is equal to plus minus b by a into x. So you can easily solve this and you will get this equation. Now remember that this is not the single equation. These are the two equations. One equation is plus y is equal to plus b by a into x, and another equation is minus y is equal to minus of b by a into x. So what type of curve it is? You see, y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c, where m is equal to b by a and c is equal to 0 in this equation. So this indicates us that this equation is the equation of straight line. Again, it's here c is equal to 0, means what is the value of c? C is nothing but the intercept on the y-axis. So its value is 0, therefore its intercept on the y-axis will be 0. So this is nothing but the equation of straight line passing through the origin. Okay, now plus y plus x means what? You see, I have drawn the diagram over here. This is the equation of straight line. You imagine the x-axis at the middle and y-axis at the middle. Okay, y-axis along vertical direction, x-axis along horizontal direction. So plus y is equal to plus b by a into x. That will indicate the straight line passing through origin and lying in the first quadrant. Minus y is equal to minus of b by a into x. That is indicating the straight line passing through the origin but lying in the third quadrant. Okay, so this equation number 4 indicates the pair of straight lines. Okay, it indicates the pair of straight lines lying in first and third quadrant. Okay, so when the phase difference between these two waves is 0, and if they travel at a right angle to each other and arrive at a point simultaneously, so that the phase difference is 0, then the resultant path traced by that particular particle will be a straight line. Now there will not be any ellipse. There will be only a straight line. Okay, actually ellipse equation is the most general equation. you can get any equation of curve out of that ellipse equation. Okay, so therefore I have told you that the equation of ellipse is most general equation. Okay, now when the phase difference is 0, we will be getting the straight line. Now what will happen if the phase difference is pi by 4? If phase difference is pi by 4 and if you put the value of sin phi and cos phi, then you will be getting this equation, equation number 5. And this equation number 5 is also the equation of oblique ellipse. Okay, this equation is the equation of oblique ellipse lying in first and third quadrant. So when phi is equal to pi by 4, you will be getting the ellipse, you will be getting the structure of ellipse lying in first and third quadrant. Okay, in this case you will not be getting any straight line. Now when phi is equal to pi by 2, okay, because we are considering different cases of phi. Now when phi is equal to pi by 2, then sin phi is equal to 1 and cos phi is equal to 0. And therefore equation 3 now becomes x square by a square plus y square by b square, and that is equal to 1. Okay, now what is this equation? This is the equation of perfect ellipse. This is the equation of perfect ellipse. What is meant by perfect ellipse? Perfect ellipse is that ellipse where the major axis of the ellipse coincides with the x-axis and minor axis of the ellipse coincides with the y-axis. Okay, so this is the equation of perfect ellipse. Now if in this perfect ellipse, if this a is equal to b, then what will happen? X square by a square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. So a square will be common and this a square will be on the right hand side. So finally we will be getting x square plus y square, it is equal to a square. And you already know this is the equation of circle. So if the phase difference between the two waves is pi by 2 and if the amplitudes of these two waves they are equal, then you will be getting the circle. You will see that the particle is tracing a circle. Okay, if the amplitudes are not equal, then the particle is tracing a perfect ellipse. Okay, so you are looking that we are getting different images, we are getting different figures. Okay, and those figures are called as the Lissajous figures. Now you can easily prove when phi is equal to 3 pi by 4, you will be again getting the oblique ellipse but lying in the second and fourth quadrant. In this case you will be getting the oblique ellipse but lying in the second and fourth quadrant. Now when phi is equal to pi, you can again see that you obtained the equation of straight lines. You again obtained the equation of straight lines, means pair of the straight lines, but one lying along second quadrant and another lying along fourth quadrant. Okay, here the equation is plus y is equal to minus of b by a into x and minus y is equal to plus of b by a into x. Okay, so such a equations means such a different types of curves can be obtained by putting different values of the phase difference phi and different values of the amplitudes. Okay, so these are the different cases where we get different figures, and these figures are called as a Lissajous figures. So this particular point is very important as far as the examination is concerned. Okay, so next topic is stationary waves or the standing waves, so that we will see in the next class. Thank you.